So like a lot of stuff you could do back in the day, you can't do now. Like you're not just beating your kids in public. I started to think about some of the shit I had to do and the politicians that sent us there. And you go and look at some of these people records, they never even was in ROTC. Until you been in your first fist fight, you ain't really lived. You kinda gotta get that one off. Pop guys, boy Green Beret Chronicles. I'm back with another video, man. And in today's video, I'm gonna be doing a reaction from a video sent in by Husky Aonecee. Shout out to Husky Aonecee. If y'all don't know Husky Aonecee, he's probably maybe the one or number two biggest supporter of this channel. Every video he comments on, every single photo I post, anything I do on YouTube, he supports it, and I appreciate that. So when he asked me to do this reaction video, I was gonna do it in the podcast, but I decided that I can do him a special video because I got the time today. I'm rushing to work. That's why y'all see me in a brown shirt. Also, elephant in the room time. I got on a do-rag. You ask Big Bro Dre, why you got on a do-rag if you got a bald head? Well, I don't. Because over the last 3 or 4 weeks, I just decided to go ahead and grow my hair back. Because I got tired of being bald. I ain't really like it. I mean, it was cool, but actually managing a bald head is really worse than actually managing hair, because you gotta shave it every day to keep it like clean cut and nice. Like it takes a lot to manage a bald head, but people don't know that. So without further ado, the video that I am reacting to is called Generation Zers Are Softer Than Baby SHIT, and it's our fault. And this video is by a gentleman named Green Beret Chronicles. I don't know much about him. I think I seen one of his videos, like a short, that came up in my news feed when I was looking at stuff for SFAS to answer another question in one of my old videos. And I believe his channel is based out of Green Beret stuff in the Army. So I'm a regular soldier. I'm what you would call a regular soldier, support guy. I was field artillery, but I never was like special forces or none of that, ranger, griever. I never was none of that. Regular 9 to 5 guy. The difference between me and this gentleman is his main job is shoot, move, communicate type stuff. Like I never woke up, except during deployment, I never woke up and said, today is the day I'm gonna have to kill somebody. Like that's their whole job. So I understand like why some of the stuff we might have different viewpoints on stuff. Now, with that said, I never seen this video. I ain't even played 5 seconds of this video, so I don't know what I'm gonna say. So this is gonna be raw, unadulterated reaction to this gentleman, Green Beret Chronicles. To be a Green Beret, it's tough to do that. Like you can't just, not a lot of, I don't know the percentage, but not a lot of people get to come into the military and be a Green Beret. Like people, it's hard to pass the special assessment that they do in order to do that. All right, but without further ado, I'm gonna go ahead and watch this video with you guys, and we'll discuss it in the middle of it. I'm gonna try to, looks like it's 14 minutes long. If I see some parts in here that I don't really want to talk about, I'm gonna cut it short, but I might just go ahead and do the whole thing. Let's see.
Are you interested in attending Special Forces assessment and selection? Are you prepared to go? Have you done everything that you can that's within your power to ensure that you're able to attend?
So it looks like his channel is about like trying to get people to do special operations, and it's not about like bashing Generation Zers apparently.
And get selected. If there's any hint of hesitation there, guys, more than likely the answer is no. With that in mind, I want to give you another tool that you can gravitate towards that's going to help you get that much more prepared.
My Wi-Fi don't start acting up. He got ads in the video, so I gotta skip through the ads.
Access to the Discord, where at any given times there's 90 other dudes on there that's currently going through the Special Forces journey.
Bro, he not okay. All right, so the video gonna start about 2:18 in it.
Should join the military, right? So there's a quote that goes around stating that hard times create hard men, right? Hard times 2001, 2003,
That's
for
facts.
the past 20 years. Those have been hard times, right? In my generation, we've been fighting in Iraq and Afghanistan. That hard time that we went through created strong men like myself and others.
And women.
Now, we as strong men, we as, battle-tested individuals, we as citizens that lived through the 9/11 era, we're creating good times. Doing these good times, these, weak-ass Generation Z individuals, these fucking TikTok individuals that are in the military.
I'm gonna pause it right there because I had to, when I read the damn title of this, honestly, I ain't really never known what a Gen Zer was, so I had to look it up to kind of get the correct definition. This is the thing. So I hear people say Gen Z, but I don't really know. Like, I don't think they're using it right. So the definition of a Gen Zer is short for Generation Z. And it is the generation born in the late 90s or early 21st century, perceived as being familiar with the use of digital technology, the internet, and social media from a very young age. So I'm assuming that's people that are born around, that are probably in their early 20s, teenage years. Yeah, I'm thinking about 20, 28, maybe the cutoff, maybe 30. I don't know. How old is the oldest G-Zenter? Google. How old is the oldest G-Zenter? And yeah, y'all comment on in the comments if y'all have ran into some G-Zenters, because I don't know Generation Z. How old is the oldest Generation Z? So the oldest Generation Z is, that's a person born between 97 and 2012. So they'll be 24 years old as the oldest one. So I see where he going with the G-Zen conversation. So let's get back to the video.
In uniform, making videos about why, people shouldn't join the military, poking fun at the military. We are responsible for that, right? We created that environment for these weak-ass individuals to be able to excel. Now, these weak-ass individuals, what are they going to do? They're then going to go create hard times, right? Because they don't
I hate to keep cutting the video off, but what I will say is I don't agree with that, because I think it's a way you say things, not him, but it's a way that they say things to make people not join. Like me, I'm going to tell you how great the great things that the military has done for me, right? But I ain't going to hold my tongue on some of the BS that goes on in the United States military. But I would never tell somebody, hey, don't join this, don't do this, because all the opportunities that I had from joining the military, and excuse me if my mic and my thing is knocking on this mic. I'm gonna put this thing up a little bit more. Hold on, guys. Hey, this video is raw. It's barely edited. I'm gonna be honest, because I'm not gonna have a whole lot of time to edit today. I'm gonna be busy today. So yeah, man, Mr. Green Beret Chronicles, I don't agree with that part, because I know what you're trying to say, but I think people should be honest about some of the negatives as well. And maybe I'm gonna subscribe to your channel, so I will watch some of your other videos to see what you say about some of the negatives as well too. Shout out to Green Beret Chronicles.
What it takes to keep the nation strong, to keep the times good, right? They're gonna fold, and then these weak ass individuals, they're then gonna create hard times again, all right? And then we're gonna go back through that vicious cycle over and over again. So why am I talking to you about this? Guys, I wanna address this because I want you to understand that it's our fault, right? It's my generation's fault, because we are the strong men that are currently in charge of shit. But of course, that's not gonna last, right? I'm gonna get old, you're gonna get old, and when we are old, these weak-ass Gen Zers, right, softer than baby shit, they're gonna be the ones that's gonna be in charge of this nation. So as the strong men, as the individuals in charge right now, we have the ability to do something about it, right? Because they are our kids. We're the one that raised them to be the way that they are now. The TikTok generation, the
y'all don't skip through my
YouTube generation, the screen fucking addictive generation. That is our fault. Let's practice some personal accountability and try to fix it before it gets out of hand. Because
alright, I mean facts. So what I'm gonna say about that generation is, I'm not gonna call them weak and soft as baby shit. I ain't gonna go that far. what I will say is a lot of the values and stuff that we grew up with in my generation, they don't have the same values, and a lot of that's upbringing, and a lot of that's like tolerance. So like a lot of stuff you could do back in the day, you can't do now. Like you're not just beating your kids in public, and you're not going like tell you like people ain't kicking their kids out of the house and putting them on their own and making them. You ain't doing that. Like I'm not gonna do that. Like my daughter get the age to where it's time for her to leave home. I'm not gonna make her leave. I'm gonna make her put some effort into doing what she need to do to start her life. But I ain't gonna kick her out of my house because I want to build a generational wealth. I want her to start off with something and not nothing. And when you're trying to do that for your children, I won't say coddle them, but you got to show them love and compassion. So I get what he's saying though. I mean, a lot of the generational stuff is different because times are different. And our society, especially United States society, we tolerate a lot more than other societies. So if I would totally agree with this, I mean, I would totally disagree with him if other societies were on the same pathway as us. But I think we're rapidly moving to a gentler, lighter society, and I think that's going to hurt our armed forces in the future. Now, am I saying, am I generalizing that for every person in the Generation Z? No. Because there are some kids that are growing up with values that separate them from what this gentleman is talking about. So I can't just generalize this with everybody that's in that generation. But let's get back to his video, because he's making some decent points. His delivery is a little, and you know what? My delivery might be a little gentle. That might not be why I ain't at 26,400 subscribers, and he is. Shout out to you, bro. But I'm just saying, like, I guess I have to talk to people a little bit different. His side of the army is different than my side of the army. So my everyday, I got to deal with a lot of these Gen Zers, and I have to learn how to talk to them to get them to do what I need them to do without making it to where I know we're military and we fight. Our major job is shoot, move, communicate, kill shit, right? But I understand that it's a certain way you got to talk to these kids to get them to do shit, because a lot of them didn't grow up the same way my generation did. And I don't want to sound like a hater to like say, hey, like, I don't want to hate. I don't want to be the guy that's like, these kids ain't shit because of the generation they grew up. They grew up with technology. They grew up with all of that stuff. We ain't have none of that. So I guess, honestly, that's my take on that part. It's like, it's just the times is different. But I'm gonna let him finish because he is making some decent points. It's just his delivery is kind of brash. But I mean, shit, that's his personality. Ain't nothing wrong with that.
Because like I mentioned, guys, it's a vicious cycle. It's going to happen again.
This gentleman is in immaculate shape,
I wanted to make a video today to address that and just kind of list some reason why Gen Zers should join the military. Now, if I had it my way, if I was president for a day, I would make it mandatory for everybody to serve in the military. Because I've been to these other countries that do that, and I've seen the outcome in their youth. Everybody's fit, everybody's fucking smart, and everybody's ready to take the fight to whoever might show up at their doorstep. That's how it is around the world. And if I was in charge of shit, I would make it to where everyone that serves in part of our government has to have some type of civil service. Because then they would understand what it means to be a soldier. They would understand what it means to be a public servant.
I can attest to that. So I've been to several countries, probably over 50, right? And in countries where they make people join the military, the society seems like they are more disciplined than we are. Like, you don't see some of the things that you see on social media from the United States, the kids, and even some of the older adults just doing wild shit. The military instills discipline. At the end of the day, you got to get up and do stuff that you don't want to do, like get up and go work out and do PT. You got to get up and you got to do different, you have to manage different priorities. And some of these priorities can mean the difference between life and death. Some of them are just day-to-day basic maintenance of defending the security of the United States of America. So he's right on that. A lot of these countries, South Korea, prime example, they make their people join the military, men, of 2 years. I think the guys from that famous group BTS had to go to the military. Correct me if I'm wrong in the comments, because I ain't gonna look this shit up. But everybody there has to go to the military for 2 years, and then they should be done with it. But when you out in the society, they do look more disciplined than we are. They have a lot less tolerance for BS than we do. So.
And when they go to make these decisions that affect soldiers' lives, they were once soldiers, policemen, and whatever, so they would better understand the power that they have and why they're making the decision that they're making. Because I can tell you right now, guys, once you serve and you understand the military and what we're responsible for as far as taking care and protecting the American people, you'll look at things in a different light. And once you've been to these parts of the world that we've been in as soldiers, then you'll understand.
That's facts. If you ever went to war and you seen the rigors and the traumas of war, right? You would think twice about starting wars for ridiculous reasons. Like, I honestly, as I get closer to my military career, I start to look back on some of the shit I had to do in Iraq, Afghanistan, all these different places they sent us, Kuwait, and it was in protection of the United States is what they tell us, right? I started thinking about some of the shit I had to do and the politicians that sent us there, and you go and look at some of these people's records, they never even was in ROTC. So how can you put soldiers' lives in danger? People dying over decisions that y'all made, but they never served. So I think at least at a minimum, they should have a couple years of service so they could kind of understand what military members go through day to day. All right. Shout out to the ones that did, though. And if you didn't because of a medical condition, I understand that. But for you to be able to make defense decisions and you don't have no military background, I'm never going to understand that shit. And I'm never going to advocate for it either. You hate me for saying it. I don't give a shit. But I'm never going to say it's cool that you're in charge of this if you don't have any military experience. I don't care who you are.
What America is and what it gives to you as a citizen, and then you'll want to do everything that you can to protect it, to make sure our life doesn't go to shit. So it really boils my blood when I see these freaking Gen Zers or these TikTokers.
I'm going to try to keep this video under 20 minutes too, because I got to go to work. And because when I'm editing, it's hard as hell to get the editing done with long ass videos.
Abroad in all these different countries, and they just don't understand. Right? So I'm going to break it down a little bit further for you guys. So why is our military serving in all these different countries around the world? It's a play that's been around, ever since I can remember. We serve in all these different countries, constantly sending special forces guys and other soldiers around the world as a deterrent mechanism.
I understand where he's going, but I ain't going to lie to you, bro. It don't boil my blood. It doesn't boil my blood because these are the freedoms that you and I fight for. Right, so we live in a free society, so they able to say that because of the things that me and you do. People should have the choices of freedom to do what they want to do. As far as occupation, I do agree with you on the military experience thing, though. You shouldn't be in charge of nothing defense if you don't have no military experience. I don't even think they should let you be president if you don't have military experience, if I'm being completely honest. Because these guys grow up and be politicians their whole life, but it's people's lives that really be in danger behind decisions that you make. And you got to understand that when you make the decisions. I'm all for protecting us when we need to be protected, but when it's on some bullshit, like I don't believe in that.
Why? Because we don't want to fight a war on American soil.
Ever.
So by partnering with all these different nations, by making friends with them, we're essentially building a platform that allows us to fight on their soil, right?
Facts.
If a war broke down in the Middle East,
he's smart,
and and we got to go into Iraq or Afghanistan, like we can easily go to Jordan and say, "Yo, we've been here for the past 30 years helping you out. Yo, let me fight out of your country." Right? We can do that as opposed to letting the enemy get closer and closer to our shores, to our land. Right? We want to fight them on their soil. And that's why we are all around the world. That's why we do what we do the way that we do it. So when I hear folks talking about, yeah, we're going abroad, we're doing this, we're sending money over here, like you just don't understand. You don't understand what you don't understand. And I get it, right? Because if we don't do that, I guarantee.
Bro, hey, listen, you smart. And Mr. Green Beret Chronicles, I get what you're saying. And I do understand where you're coming from. But you got to admit, man, sometimes when they sending money to some of these countries, some of these purchases are bullshit. Come on, man. Let's be honest. Come on, man. You know that. Green Beret. I'm going to at you in the title so you can watch the video because I don't mean no disrespect. I think you make some extremely valid points, right? But you got to admit that some of the time when we giving money to some of these countries, it's bullshit. If we not getting some type of defense or political advantage, I get some of them, and you special forces, so you might have, you probably got more knowledge on this shit than I do. But I tell you that I just from doing research and kind of being some of these places and seeing how some of this money is being spent, actually working through budgets with units and with special operation units, special forces and ranger units. I worked with them and did their budgeting and stuff, right? And I seen some of the purchases and the stuff we send to other, and it's like, come on, bro. But I get what you're saying, though. We have to make relationships with these countries in order to facilitate an environment where we could fight on their lands against our foreign enemies without having to bring that fight to the United States. Y'all don't want to wake up and look in your backyard and see tanks and shit riding up the street. You don't want to wake up and look in your backyard and see Hiroshima or Pearl Harbor, Nagasaki from hydrogen bombs blowing up Brooklyn or Atlanta or some shit. So I definitely understand what this gentleman is talking about when he says that we have to make those relationships. But I'm going to say about 15% of some of those, I go as high as 20. Some of it's BS, bro. But you making some good points, man. I like his content so far, man. It's pretty good.
To you, the fight is going to be brought to our shores. And trust me, that's something that you do not want. Another thing I need you guys to understand is, and I get it, right? Ignorant is bliss. You don't know what you don't know. We live in a bubble here in the United States, right? We stay within our walls and we try not to venture out from it. But I need you to understand that there's people out there waiting for an opportunity to take the United States down. It's like that with every empire since the beginning of time.
Damn,
when you're at the top of the food chain, everybody below you is looking for an opportunity to take you down. And right now, the United States, we've been that prize. In the last 20 or so years, people have been trying. And they're going to keep trying. And once they do, what do you think is going to happen?
Bro, you get into that bag. You got more ads than Google.
Happen. Who do you think is going to step up to protect the country? If it's you, I'm worried. Because you guys are soft. You guys are getting soft.
It's gonna be y'all,
I need you to understand, like, if this country falls,
it ain't gonna be me and Green Beret.
Videos, all the fame you're trying to gain, all that shit that you got now, what do you think is gonna happen to it?
Over with.
Somebody has to protect your way of life.
It's over with,
and if it's not you, then who the fuck is it gonna be? Who's gonna do it? If everybody has the same mindset as you have as far as not serving, who's gonna step up to protect this nation?
Damn, he keeping it true.
To protect what he
not wrong.
No one. So guess what? Somebody around the world that's currently training, that's getting hard to come take what you got. They're just gonna walk in here and they're gonna take it.
And Husky, you're not gonna have. I'm gonna watch this whole video, but I'm gonna go ahead and comment on what I've seen so far. I'm gonna pause right here. So basically, this guy has some pretty good content. So y'all go check out his page at Green Beret Chronicles. He don't need me to say that because he got about 3 times the subscribers that I have. So, or 4 times the subscribers I have. So he's got a pretty successful channel. But essentially what he's saying is, by his title, and it's a really good title because it makes people click. So good on that. Is that the Generation Zers are going to be the people that are going to be responsible for protecting this nation of ours. Now, we might not think the United States of America, for all my South American people that watch the channel, the United States of America, we may not think this is a great country, but I gotta tell you, this is one of the greatest countries in the world, built on the backs of injustice, built on the backs of hardworking people, built on the backs of slavery. This is one of the greatest countries. The way it got like that, we should not be proud of. But it is like it now, right? People still aren't treated great here. But there are so many other places that you could be where people are treated worse, right? And then another thing too is that as far as the American soil fight, I agree with that. You don't want that. You don't want that on your. You don't want to have to deal with that. You don't want your kids going to school and somebody trying to blow this the whole block up with B-52 bombers and shit like that. So I agree with him. What I want to say though is that instead of, and this might be my bias and how I work on an everyday basis, instead of putting the Generation Z people down, I think we need to start uplifting them, right? I think we need to start figuring out how we could make our military stay tough, right? Stay how it is. We some killers, right? But also bring them into the fold and teach them that this they country. So y'all have to learn how to protect it, because this is y'all shit now. Like, all us ain't gonna be here. We gonna be old retirees pulling VA disability on two broke ass knees, right? They ain't gonna be able to call me back in 15 years and say, hey, can you come out here and handle some of this property and shoot some of these missiles off and shit like that. I ain't gonna be able to do it, right? Because I'm gonna be somewhere in the Cartagena on a boat, sipping something that look like this, but it got alcohol in it. This ain't alcohol, by the way. I gotta go to work. This is peach tea. If y'all get a chance, try some of this peach tea. It's from Tropicana. This shit is delicious. So yeah, I agree with him about 85%. I'll be honest. Some of the language I wouldn't use to talk about him, because I get it, man. They grew up in a different generation. Like, a lot of these kids ain't never even been in a fist fight. I think I said that in one of my other videos. Like, until you've been in your first fist fight, you ain't really lived. You kind of gotta get that one off when you're young, just so you could kind of know. And I ain't talking about women. I don't think women should be out here fighting all the time. Now, some of y'all get down, but I don't think it's a rite of passage for women. For men, a fist fight is a rite of passage. So if you 30 and you ain't been in your first one, man, you ain't standing up for yourself enough. All right. So yeah, man, I like this guy's channel. I'm gonna be watching a little bit more of his content. I might even react to a few of his other content videos if it's cool with him. I'm gonna add him so he can see it come up, and if he has some rebuttal or something to what I'm saying, we can talk about it amicably. I respect your work, brother. I think you're doing a good job. Like I said, I probably would use different language, but that's because we come from different backgrounds, and the way I kind of deal with stuff, it might be a little different than the way you deal with it, but I mess with you, bro. I fuck with it. So, hey, if that's it, man, I appreciate you guys, man. I know y'all been looking at that subscriber count, G. We might make 5,000 by the end of the year. Right now, we 4,501 supporters, subscribers. That's what I saw the last time. Y'all even subscribing more to my following my Instagram page. I went on there the other day to check all the messages, and I noticed that I had about 2,900 followers on Instagram. So I appreciate that too. If y'all want me to post on Instagram, let me know. I'll post some of the some pictures. Next time I might be looking at another deployment here soon. So I post that and stuff when I get back out overseas and do some stuff like that. So I appreciate you guys watching. Hopefully I can edit this video because it's long as hell. It's 28 minutes right now. I think we're going to be right under 30 minutes. So if that's it, man, Husky, man, I appreciate the video and appreciate all your support. I see you guys in the next video. Peace.